welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from a beautiful Westlake Village, California. It's Thursday, December 2nd, and we do have a lot to talk about today. Again, Jerome Powell shaking the markets 2 days ago with his comments on the TV, which basically was this: they're looking to taper sooner than later, which will put a damper on all the liquidity out there, all the free money, and it looks like the stock market is reacting as we speak. And I'll just throw the NASDAQ back up here. And what do we have here on the daily? Yesterday, we had a big, bearish candle. Why does this look so tiny? Here we go. That was pretty nasty yesterday. And could we get a bounce off the green 55? Yeah, absolutely. And could Jerome Powell retract his statement? Absolutely. So we're not here to talk about stocks, though. Even though they're highly correlated with Bitcoin, and NASDAQ is highly correlated with Bitcoin, that's the tech sector. So, when NASDAQ goes down, typically Bitcoin goes down. However, during this last spill here, when the NASDAQ retraced about 9%, Bitcoin went up 10%. So that was the first time we saw divergence in the market in almost ever in Bitcoin's history. So what do we have to say today? Pretty much the same thing as yesterday. We were looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, right? That's Ethereum priced in Bitcoin or versus Bitcoin. And what we did note here is that on the 5-day, we had this ascending, an ascending triangle, very likely to break to the upside yesterday. We broke the measure move up. There is to 9 million Satoshis. And do I think it stops there? No, very, very likely. I think we continue on as this would be a macro breakout. When we take out, that last prior week's high, or 5-day high, that's, macro continuation, very, very bullish. And so why am I bringing this up? Well, in general, when this is macro bullish on a 5-day, right, we're getting higher lows and higher highs. And this started all the way back in January last year when we got our first higher high and our first higher low right there. That was a big indicator, January bullish, get back into the market. Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin. And I think it's a very similar situation to what we're seeing right now. But again, if we throw on our Bitcoin spot chart here, this isn't a negative for Bitcoin. This is a positive. And just real quick, our Bitcoin spot chart, we're still macro bullish as long as really Bitcoin's closing dailies and weeklies above 40,000. Do I think it's likely to trade this low? No, not unless we take out this region right here, which is at about 53,000. Then I do think we could, get a move into the low 40s. But first stop's going to be at about 50,000. And yeah, unless that region really gets violated, I wouldn't expect to move down in the low 40s. So I'll leave it that with there. But, you hear a lot about the December month, right? Just has to go up. We deserve a Christmas rally. And, what I want to keep in mind and what I would comment is that, look, in July, we were at $30,000. We hit $69,000 by November. That is your Christmas rally. Pick up your presents. So that being said, again, we are postulating back on our lower term time frames. We're still stuck in this range right here, and I'll just put it on CMEs right there because I think it's a little more clear to see, but still stuck in a range, right? We're holding this pivot here at 56,000. The range on to the upside is 59,600. To the downside is 56,000. I think it's highly, highly likely to break either today or tomorrow. Why? BBBWP, our volatility indicator, is expanding from a very, very low read. And that means volatility is about to increase. It's direction neutral. So, what do we think could happen here? Bitcoin that's a gap right there, by the way. That's a gap in price action. Gaps like to get filled. So, what could happen here? Bitcoin put on the little paintbrush here, comes down, fills the gap, and then comes in and tries to actually put in a lower high, and that's the lower high watch, right? If we do put in a lower high watch right there, yes, I am expecting, somewhere us to go somewhere like that, right? But in the context of a weekly time frame, you can see here, even if Bitcoin wants to do something like that and come back down, right? We are still in this, giant rising wedge on the macro scale here, which looks something like this, which for some people, this shows, hey, we might not hit that $100,000 target by the end of the year, but yeah, that would look, something like this, right? All you need are 3 points on a trend line, and that makes a trend. Three points on a trend line. 3 touches. So yeah, could it go? And maybe that line isn't so pretty, right? But I can erase it and draw it again. So maybe we go something like this. Boom, 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 and then up, and that happens sometime, first quarter of next year. And gosh, I wonder if we even draw this. This might be a little more accurate, actually. Oops. All right, I'm going to get off these drawings here. This is what I was looking at here. So something a little more like this, right? So, Bitcoin could spend some time. That's all I'm trying to get at here in a range a bit before we get a break back to the upside above, 65,000 on a weekly for CMEs and on the daily. So again, that being said, we are kind of in this position, right, where again, I'd really, really encourage people to keep a close eye on this, and that's for the lower high watch. And this is just on a daily time frame. And if you're looking for, buying opportunities, right? If the price comes back down to 50,000, what a great buying opportunity. But here's why, right? You do a Fibonacci retracement, and that 618 Fibonacci retracement is going to come in right at about 64,000 there. Gosh, it's so hard to see on this. Let's see if I can zoom in or zoom out. There we go. So that 618 fib, yeah, coming in 64,000 right in that region right there. That is typically the bull trap area, unless we can clear above that line, right, at 64.5. I am, going to look for that move to the downside, and then for Bitcoin to pick itself up. And the reason I keep kind of, reiterating this, Bitcoin trading sideways and Ethereum kind of outperforming, and what does that mean for altcoins? Well, we're going to cover some of those at the end of this video, but again, what do we have here? We have BBBWP, our volatility indicator, is increasing with momentum slightly turning up, but we are in the context of something that looks like it could be a downtrend. We haven't had the lower high yet. So who's to say Bitcoin doesn't rocket itself up right here, right? And just make a new high. We don't know. But that's why we have these validation points. And at the end of the day, I would say Bitcoin is likely to bounce from this region right here. And gosh, computer is not loving me today, but I want to bring this up closer so you guys can see it. So right here at 53,000, yes, I do think this region holds, and we play out some kind of a bounce. I think that's very, very likely. And, again, just look for the bull trap. And remember, why is this market healthy and macro bullish? Look, Michael Saylor just bought another 500 million in Bitcoin, right? Just over the past few weeks. El Salvador made Bitcoin the national currency. The mayor of Miami talking about taking his paycheck in Bitcoin. The sheer market cap of Bitcoin, over $1 trillion. So again, don't lose hope with a little stutter step and a little boring price action over a few weeks or days. It doesn't mean anything in the big scheme of things. And moving on here, I want to check out Ethereum, US dollar. And we did have a 5-day closure yesterday, which again, how does that look? That looks okay. So that 5-day, this is a bullish engulfing candle, right? So we completely engulfed this red candle, and that's a very healthy, that's likely continuation right there. And then let's check out the weekly, which we already took out last week's high, right? Testing the top side of the range. That is perfectly normal, and to get a sell off, typically something you would see there. And so yeah, if we get a daily closure above 47.50 or a weekly, a daily or a weekly closure above 4,700, and I'm going to look for a quick move up to where I think it was about 5,200. And how do you get these targets, right? You just take a Fibonacci retracement from the top to the bottom, right? And your next target, that's coming in at about 5,300 right there, and that's with a daily closure up. Let me move this down slightly to that high. There you go. So remote from that high to that low, and yeah, it gives you a target around 5,200. Not bad. And I'm going to say, look, I am bullish as long as we are closing dailies above, I'd say about $4,000, right? That's the invalidation point. So I'll just take this little piece right here and I'll throw that right there. And, on the short-term time frames, like a 4-hour, we get a 4-hour closure below 4,300. Yeah, bottom side of the range likely to get hit. We do have a very low volatility read, right, on Ethereum. So likely to expand from this region. And that's in all of our macro time frames. So that's a daily, that's a 2-day, 3-day, 5-day. They're coming from low regions. It's the lowest region we've seen on a weekly. So an explosive move in Ethereum is incoming. And why am I bullishly positioned? Well, let's talk about that, right? Let's take a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, and I'll get off some of these drawing tools so we can see here. So why am I macro bullish? Well, on the weekly, right, we took out the May high, right? So that was a higher high. Then we put in a higher low, and by definition, guess what? You put in a higher high and a higher low, that's an uptrend, right, on the weekly time frame. And it looks like we are putting in our first higher high, and this will, if we can close anywhere above 4,700 on a weekly time frame, that will confirm another higher low and beget continuation to likely higher highs, because that's what the trend says. The rule is the trend is your friend till the end of the trend. That's why I'm bullishly positioned. We're in a macro uptrend, and that means more up, higher highs, higher lows till the end of the trend. And moving on to some of our altcoins that we have been covering. Just really quickly here, Solana on the daily. Solana looks like it wants to fill out this range here between 230 and 191. And unless we can get a daily closure back above 230, and then I'd be looking for moves back up to 240 and then likely around 250. Probably retest the highs at that point. Invalidation, right? 190, likely begets a move down, somewhere around 150. Gala, another gaming coin. A lot of people have been looking at on the daily, looking droopy. I'd say, even any kind of a daily closure below this red 10, you could see a pretty nasty move down to 56 cents or 46 cents. And I would consider that probably a major buying opportunity. However, looking at this on the 4-hour, we're barely holding it up above the green 55-day moving average. So Do I think we could fill out this range a little bit more and get some, get a bounce here? Absolutely. Why? Because we have 1, 2, 3. Well, if we can confirm a higher low, that'll give us 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish diversions, and that usually will give you a move at least at the top side of the range at 66 cents, and could get us, 4 drives of hidden bullish divergence could get us to the top side of the range. Gala Mana, Mana kind of very similar to Gala and a lot of these metaverse coins that are barely holding on to the bottom side of the range. But something I did notice here on Mana is it does like to hit this, after consolidating for some time, to dip into the Cyan 89 exponential moving average. And so I would say if we can get some kind of a bounce here and get back above 47, 40, call it $4.80, I look for a move back up, towards the range highs there around 550. But other than that, downside targets, 355, and even on a 5-day, if we could easily, this thing has gone up so much, it could be in a macro uptrend and still, come back down to $3, 313, and that's it for Mana. Sand checking in there too on a, let's see what the 5-day did. We did get a 5-day. That is a sign of indecision. So if we do take out this low, I'm going to be looking for a move somewhere, around 450. And that would be over the next week or two. Hopefully Sand wants to pick itself back up. Avalanche, another very, very popular coin. And, I'm saying Avalanche looks, pretty bullish. Let's see what it looks like on a daily. And yeah, this one, same thing, really, this is the classic bull trap here, right? So you come, here's a bullish retracement, comes up to the 618, sells off, right? And, comes back down. We don't want to see it close back down below the 236. That would not look good. I think Avalanche could pick itself back up here. Any kind of a 4-hour closure above, or a daily, I'd say a 12-hour. You want to play it safe, a daily above 126, and that'll get us continuation to the highs of 140 and probably new all-time highs. And another one, bring our attention to Matic, which is why am I bringing our attention to it? Well, it's had this ascending triangle baking for like 8 months now, back to May. And it looks like we want to break back out. And I would say with any kind of a daily or weekly closure above 220, a daily would be 2.25, and that's going to give us a measure move that's, pretty nice here, right? So that thing is going to look very nice, right? So, up to 313, something like that. And our 5-day, it's all lining up on the 5-day, right? We had a big 5-day closure, came, test the range highs, sells off. We got another 4 days to make new all-time highs. I wouldn't mind this filling out a little bit more, but overall, Matic's looking healthy, looking good. So with that, I'm going to sign out for today, guys. Hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. We'll be bringing it back to you here in the next day with some more crypto price analysis. Take care.